Greetings, one and all, and welcome to my thank you for 250 subscriber video. Today I have a spooky, tragic, and somewhat gruesome story about two sisters in France. Some of you may have heard it, and I did my best to do it justice and give them respect because this was quite a doozy. So this is the build. And it's as close to what I could do to simulate their homes in Le Mans, France. So without further ado, let me begin the story. So today's story is the Papin sisters and their gruesome murder legacy. Christine Papin was born March 8, 1905, and Léa Papin was born September 15, 1911, to troubled parents Clémence Dare and Gustave Papin in Le Mans, France. Gustave believed that Clémence was having an affair with her employer. She fell pregnant, and although he had his doubts, he married Clémence in October of 1901. 5 months later, their first daughter, Amelia, was born. Gustave wanted to move away to avoid the stigma of raising an illegitimate child with Clémence, but she would not go. He began to drink heavily, and the marriage began to deteriorate. The younger sisters, Léa and Christine, were born and soon sent to live with their paternal and maternal uncles until 1912. In 1912, it was alleged that Amelia was raped by Gustave at around age 9 or 10, and she was soon sent to Bon Pasteur Catholic Orphanage. Soon after this, the young sisters followed. Gustave and Clémence divorced a short time later. The sisters remained together at the orphanage until 1918. Amelia went on to be a nun, and although Christine felt called to the convent, Clémence forbid her to go, and instead put the younger sisters into service as domestic maids in Le Mans. In 1926, Christine and Léa found live-in positions as maids for the Lancelot family at number 6 Rue Bruyère. They had an elder daughter that was married, but their younger daughter, Geneviève, lived at home with Madame Léonie and Monsieur Lancelot. The girls lived in the home and learned to serve the family well, sometimes finding their only comfort in each other, with speculations of incest. The girls sent money to their mother and had very little for themselves. Madame Lancelot developed depression over the years and began to take out her mental illness on the servants. The abuse became so violent that she was known to have put hands on the girls, pushing their heads into the wall. Then one evening, February 2nd, 1933, Monsieur Lancelot was to meet his wife and daughter at a friend's home for dinner. They had been shopping all afternoon, and upon their return, the ladies realized that the entire house was dark, except for a single light in the sisters' room. Madame Léonie was furious with the girls, who were tucked up in their shared room at the top of the house. She made her way up the stairs to scold the girls for negligence. Christine ran out of their room to explain that a faulty iron had caused a power outage. Madame did not believe her story, especially since there was a light on in their room. There on the first floor landing, Madame Léonie began to unleash an attack. As she felt the rush of anger coming yet again from Madame Lancelot, the years of mental and physical abuse flashed before the eyes of Christine. Desperate to be left alone with her precious sister, Christine flew into a murderous rage. She lunged at daughter Geneviève and gouged out her eyes, instructing Léa to do the same to Madame. Christine stopped and ran downstairs to the kitchen, retrieving a large knife and a hammer. The girls used these weapons, as well as heavy pewter pitchers, to beat and stab the two women. Police later estimated that the assault lasted a full 2 hours. At some point, Monsieur Lancelot returns home after realizing that his wife and daughter had never arrived at that party. He is with his son-in-law and finds himself standing in front of a dark house. The door has been bolted from the inside. Finding this strangely suspicious, he decides to go straight to the police station. Police break into the home and they find Madame Léonie and Geneviève lying bludgeoned and dead on the floor near the staircase. They were unrecognizable, and upon closer inspection, they found the gouged out eyes of Madame in the folds of the scarf she had been wearing around her neck. Geneviève's eyes were separated, one found under her body and one on the stairs. The police assumed that the Papin sisters had met the same fate, so they climbed the stairs to their room at the top of the house. The door was locked and the girls did not respond, so a locksmith was called. Inside, the girls were naked and clinging to each other in bed. A bloody hammer with hair hanging from it was sitting on a chair across the room. They did not deny what they had done. The girls were arrested and immediately separated. Christine could not cope with this. The only time she saw Leah, she ripped her blouse open and asked her to accept her, to please say yes. This gave authorities the idea that they had been involved in an incestuous relationship. After this, they would not see each other again. Christine suffered a, quote, fit, unquote, while in prison, trying to gouge out her own eyes. She was placed in a straitjacket and later attempted to use this fit as an explanation for her behavior on the day of the murders, saying that she had one of those fits on the day. The girls underwent psychological evaluations and were initially deemed of sound mind and fit to stand trial, but later their family's mental health history was questioned in the courtroom and the details were used to help defend the girls. When all was said and done, the girls were diagnosed with shared paranoid disorder, also known as shared psychotic disorder. This entails one person having intense feelings of persecution or psychotic feelings, and then convincing another person with no previous mental illness that their beliefs are true. This may have been how they came to feel that the Lancelins should be killed. The jury took only 40 minutes to deliberate their case. They were found guilty. Leah received a 10-year sentence because she was under Christine's influence, and Christine was sentenced to death by guillotine. It was later commuted to life in prison. Christine could not deal with the separation from Leah. She was placed in a mental institution in Rennes and deteriorated rapidly, refusing to eat. She died on May 18, 1937. Leah served 8 of her 10 years and was released in 1947. She moved to be with her mother again in Nantes and assumed a new identity and began working as a hotel maid. Leah's death has undergone speculation as to the timing. Some believe she died in 1982. Others believe that she had a stroke in her old age, which immobilized her and robbed her of her speech. The woman suspected of being Leah Papin died in July 2001, according to those secondary sources. This case left a huge mark on society in 1930s Le Mans. The French newspapers ran articles discussing the likely cause of such a crime was the intolerable life of the domestic servant, 14-hour days, almost no time off, and an isolation from family. It was eventually blamed on the struggle between social classes and the unfair treatment of those in the working class. Many debated whether the girls could have survived with their abuse much longer, and if their response was triggered by the damage done to them. In the end, many believed that their devotion to each other was merely the strength of family ties in an inhospitable world and not incestuous. There are several books, films, documentaries, and dramatizations of the Papin sisters' story, but surely none could be more tragic than that of their real lives. Did they ever have a chance to escape the madness? As our build tour comes to an end, I want to leave you with a very short depiction of the Papin's history with the Lancelin family. Thank you for watching today and for joining me on this very sad journey. And happy Halloween.